You're good. So this is my, I'm actually really excited to share this with you guys. This is something that has transformed my life completely. It was the gateway for me to actually start opening up greater contact and getting into the deeper spiritual stuff. It was playing with these tools that we have within us. So what I'm going to take you guys through now is some advanced breathwork stuff. So you know how in the last meditations we were working with our breath, but still not at the highest capacity. We were moving some air, we were moving some force through, some power through, and we're really just focusing on grounding ourselves and practicing visualization techniques to connect to our higher self. This one is all about activating the fucking fire within you that you have available to you. So what we're going to do is work towards moving more energy through your system, because this stuff, this work that we're about to do, when you get it right and you start to get really good at it, it can energize you unlike anything else can. And it's the gateway to higher consciousness. It's the gateway to activating your pineal gland. It's the gateway to activating higher conscious states within you. And the work that I'm about to show you, you can do it with yourself, and you can also practice it with your partner intimately during sex as well. So this is all about cycling energy through your physical system and really transferring energy from your base root chakra. It's about harnessing the sexual energy within you, or your kundalini energy within you, and we're starting to work with it and channeling it up your spine. So essentially, I really don't know how to draw a sideways person. Does anyone know how to draw a person sideways? Like standing this way? Artist man, yeah, go for it. Can you draw me a human being on the side?
I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but we'll try.
I just basically need I need the shoulder, and I need the torso, and like the base of the legs, or like the trunk of the legs.
Kind of like that. A little bit.
Yeah, fuck yeah, that's easy enough. Nice.
Huge feet.
So if this is the chest, or like nose. So what's happening is, you know how in the last session we have planet Earth, and we were essentially connecting and grounding ourselves in Earth, and then receiving higher galactic energies from above, coming down through our crown. Then we were grounding ourselves and extending a grounding cord deep into the crystalline grid down here. So now what we're going to be doing is more so we're focusing on the energetic flow within our own system. So right where your ass is here, you've got your root chakra right around, I'm going to use some different colors, right around here. So if that's your root chakra, what happens is when we breathe in, right? So we're breathing cosmic energy in from above, it's coming down, and it's entering our nose. And then it's flowing down through here, through the throat, and it's going through our front, or our anterior, our front meridian channel. So it's traveling down our spine through the chakras, like your actual air. It's going down this way, and then it's connecting, and it's basically traveling through your root chakra, and that is, I forgot the body part, is it your perineum, or is that on chicks? Perineum? It's like the part right between your ball sack and your ass crack.
I think we both got it.
Yeah.
Your taint.
Yeah. So it's like your you're almost imagining your tailbone, it's like almost connected close to the tailbone. And then the breath, the actual appropriate cycle of it is to then come round and basically right at your perineum is where all your sexual energy is stored, right? And when you get physically charged, you just get hard on. But when you actually, you can redirect that energy, and you can redirect it up through the other side, the posterior side of your meridian, behind your spine. And it can travel up behind your spine, up the back of your neck, and then it comes into your head. And then you can either to your crown chakra, or even your pineal gland at points, depending on because where your focus goes, your energy flows. So what we're doing is essentially, as we're breathing in, we're imagining the air coming into our nose, and we're breathing in life force. And then it's going down our heart, like basically just going straight past our heart, not worrying too much about energizing it in the heart just yet at all. What we're doing is really, we're trying to get that air and that oxygen super low within our diaphragm. So we're really practicing diaphragmatic breathing so when you're breathing in, it's about not necessarily going out as much, is we're really trying to like press that air down, okay? Really deep within you. Because what that does, when you're breathing and you're doing the breathing that I was taking you through, typically what happens is it just goes out, right? And we fill our belly with air, but it can go deeper, it can go lower. And so the first step in this breathing protocol is to breathe in, imagine it going down the front of your body, or like in your body, but on the front side of your body, on the front of your spine. It's going down, passing through all the chakras. And as we breathe out, then you're gonna notice that your belly, your diaphragm, if you're a little bit stressed or anything like that, you're gonna notice it's pretty tight. It's gonna feel pretty tight to a certain extent, but the more that you really like deepen the breath, when you push your diaphragm lower and lower, the air is gonna go from here and it's gonna drop right under your balls. And it's gonna you're gonna start to feel it sit there. Eric felt some warmness like the last time we did it. That's what you'll start to feel. You'll start to feel, when you get it right and start to get the energy in, or the air in there, it's gonna start to activate some energy, which is very hot, it's very warm. But in order to do it, we've got to get past this midsection here, which is typically here. So most of us in life breathe very shallowly in our chest, which makes us very stressed. When we start breathing here, we start to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest and relax. Once we start to take that energy down, because air and your breath is energy, once we start to get that down, we're now activating and stirring up the energy in our sexual organs. And what that is then doing, when we take our breath past the perineum, basically up in like almost near your balls, it's gonna start traveling, and then it's gonna sit there, and for the first, as you start to feel that, it's gonna start dismantling that Kundalini energy within you. And then, if you get it right, what you're gonna do is that your perineum, the muscles that you exercise to stop peeing, that pullback to stop pissing. What you're gonna do, as you're breathing in there, and you start to imagine with your mind's eye that air flowing right to that point, that's when you're gonna squeeze that muscle, which is basically gonna start pushing that energy up the back of your spine. And it takes many repetitions to start moving it, right? And you can start to do better at this longer term. Whenever you're just sitting around in everyday life, start squeezing, start like activating those muscles just when you're sitting down, doing nothing, just, knowing that, all right, you're advancing your spiritual energetic practice when you do so.
It's good for keeping the guy up.
Yeah, it's control. Yeah. It's exercising much greater control around those areas. So as you squeeze that muscle, it's basically a valve, right? So it's basically a valve that goes, and then it's a muscle that shoots the energy up. So we're using our imagination with our mind's eye to get our breath flowing up, but then we're squeezing that muscle, and that's starting to push and like pulse that energy up our spine. It takes a fair bit of work to get into that space to get it to work. Once you do, you're going to start feeling it. You're going to be like, oh, okay, now my mind is becoming more alert and I'm more aware. Then it's like I'm a little bit more motivated. Let's see what happens now. And then what you can do is as you start to, so you're breathing in, and then you want to hold it, and you really want to push that air really low, squeeze, and then you're going to start to now basically contract and press all that compact air that you've now breathed in and pushed down under you. You're going to contract that back into your spine to basically create a squeeze that's then going to squeeze all the energy up, but you're channeling it up the back of your spine. Right? Is this making sense?
And I think, like you already said this once, but visualizing it while you're doing it, like using light or something else, really helps. Because if you're thinking in your mind, oh, this is light that I'm pushing up, it kind of helps. Because it's weird thinking you're using your control muscles.
It's exactly what you're doing. You're moving light and energy through your body, and wherever your focus goes, your energy will flow in that direction. So you're creating this flow, and basically what you're going to start doing is cycling your breath. So every in-breath, here, then you're pushing it down. And you're going to feel that start to sit, and your pelvis is going to maybe be a bit tight, and you're like, all right, as you do it, you'll create more space. Then you're going to squeeze the muscle. And then you're going to imagine that coming up the back of your spine. You're going to continue holding your breath as you're squeezing that muscle. Then you're going to contract your stomach even more. And then that energy is going to slowly start to flow. And then on your out breath, you want to totally fucking relax to allow, because when you relax, the energy goes whoop and flows, right? So we're doing the work, we're like striving to get the energy moving because it's really hard to get it moving right away. So the more we contract our muscles and work with our physiological system, it's going to start to move that energy. Then the more we relax, you'll find like, as you focus the energy going up your spine to your crown chakra, if you focus there, the more you relax, the energy will just naturally make its way up because it wants to do that. It wants to activate and move up your spine. And then once you start doing that and getting used to that, if you really want to activate higher light frequencies within your body, as the air comes in, you're going to focus on it channeling through the love of your heart, so you can focus on compassion, gratitude, the person that you love the most, because that's the best way to increase your vibration and basically merge with the cosmos. And then that's going to basically create a higher light frequency coming down. And then that's going to what? Dismantle the energy easier, because light is going to dispense the matter. So if there's any density there, it's going to lift it up out of your system. As you work with it, it's going to flow more and more and more. And then if you really want to kick things off even more, once you get used to it, you're going to essentially, as you're doing the hold and squeezing, that's when you're thinking about love, right? And then that's like that loving feeling as you're holding your breath, you're going to probably get a bit lightheaded because it's going to start activating DMT, and your Kundalini energy is going to start flowing. When your Kundalini energy starts flowing up your spine into your pineal gland and your crown chakra, you're going to be like, whoa, that's pretty powerful.
When do you typically incorporate the hold? Like
when I get the air, when I focus, because I'm focused first and foremost, when I'm getting the air to here, I'm breathing in, pushing down, 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 down to activate this root chakra and to dismantle the energy, because it's all stored there, but it's been dormant. It's really like locked up. So what you want to do is then when you're holding, what you're doing is creating pressure, and that's basically creating pressure in the system to keep on trying to move the energy through this bottom part here. And that's when, so as you're holding, you're also squeezing at the same time, and just focus on that for a moment. And then as you start to release, love, 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 love in the heart, which then basically amplifies the speed of the light going through. And then you're like slowly merging, just like, ooh, like letting it be a blissful experience.
So not breathing it up the spine into the head, not breathing it, inhaling that.
No, not for now, not for this,
Okay.
not for this
Okay.
specific intention.
Okay.
Yep, because you got to breathe it in and down, and then the release will naturally happen, and it will go back up. Because when you're focused after the release, right, after the contractions and that conscious effort, you're then going to start releasing, focusing on love, and just imagining that loving energy traveling up your spine naturally and freely to the top of your crown. Because then the energy will naturally follow your focus. Yeah.
Is that where your pineal gland is?
Your pineal gland's there.
Oh.
But basically what will start to happen is, so you're going to focus on it basically blasting through your crown chakra. But what it also does is that light frequency, once it gets there in that space, it's going to start also decalcifying your pineal gland over time. And it's going to start like exercising that muscle, because remember, when you're visualizing a lot of the time with your eyes closed, you're already exercising your pineal gland as well. And then that's going to start blasting off. The light's going to then travel back, and it's going to go boom, back up to the cosmos. And this is step one. There's many layers to this, but this should give you a pretty good experience if you really are able to stay focused. But because there's a risk of you basically passing out, it's okay if you do. You can totally wig out. I've passed out so many times, and you just want to sit beside, like, with your back against the wall, not on a chair, whenever you do this. And like, never ever do this technique like here or with like a fucking object in front of you. I've done some damage. So you want to make sure you've got some space around you, all right?
Make sure you keep the camera on.
So is the technique I'm sure you're going to show, is it just me?
And if, one last thing, if you do find yourself having an experience like you start to vibrate or shake, or like you space out for a second and you're coming back and you're like, what the fuck, where am I? Like, if you do that, just go back to your breath, know that you're fully protected, you're fine. It's just the energy is so fucking powerful. But if you guys get that on your first time doing this, awesome. If you don't, keep practicing at home, and like it'll get there. You'll get there with it.
Wim Hof style breathing, or?
I'm gonna take you through a bit of Wim Hof to start, like the breath of fire, because what that does, it oxygenates your system, and it really gets the air moving through your body. But then we're gonna go back into this strategy here. Yeah, cool.